Welcome to Speed Round Sunday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share a mini episode from our past for your weekend listening pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode.
So today we are asking about plot twists that have stunned you, and that can be from shows long ago or shows today, any kind of TV shows that you watch and there's been a plot twist that has absolutely shocked you, and you might have to dig into the recesses of your mind for this one. Catherine, do you have a plot twist that shocked you at one point in time?
There were definitely a bunch on Downton Abbey, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that sprung to mind immediately was Melrose Place.
Oh.
If you watch that show, the one with the wig removal. If you've watched the show, you'll know what I'm talking about, where this character just pulls off what you've been thinking all along is her real hair, and she pulls it off, and there's this gigantic, horrible scar all down on her skull, and it is like so
oh my
dramatic.
Goodness.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, or even if you do, there is an episode of the Extra Hot Great podcast where one of the girls from the Fug Girls, Go Fug Yourself, discuss this episode as part of they have this thing called the canon, where they induct like exemplary episodes of TV into their canon. It is very entertaining to listen to, and that was indeed quite a plot twist on that show.
Interesting. How about you, Terry? Have you got a plot twist in mind?
I watch so much TV now after the fact that stuff doesn't really stun me anymore. I mean, I'm sure if I had watched The Good Place in real time, the plot twist at the end of the first season would have had my jaw on the floor. And I really kind of wish I could have seen that without having completely heard all about it. It was still delightful. I'm still glad I watched it, but and I watch a lot of things that way. And I sometimes I would rather be spoiled because I don't like suspense. So I will always look at things and see what is happening. And I remember when I was younger, TV Guide always gave away everything that was going to happen in an episode. So it wasn't really a lot of jaw dropping then either. I mean, certainly shows like Lost and Twin Peaks, I'm sure had big twists that kind of astonished me at the time. But
what about Dallas? Did you not
I did not watch Dallas. I think I saw that episode at somebody's house I was staying with, but I knew it was going to happen for some reason. I think spoilers didn't used to be as much of a thing, as they are now. I think you would kind of know what was going to happen, and that's why you would want to watch to see how it played out, rather than, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. But I will say that we've been watching, Catherine and I have been watching The West Wing on our round 2 episodes, and we're coming up to the end of season 4. And there's one of those there, which I can't say anything about. But
no, you can't.
I can't, except, So anyway, revisit this topic with Catherine in a little while. 4 more episodes, depending on how slowly The West Wing doles them out. And, she may have something new to add to the list.
Yes. Well, I have a few that I can recall over the years, but for example, the Dallas one was my first kind of big, little JR.
Well, then there was also the Bobby in the shower. Was that Dallas too?
That was part of. Wasn't that part of the Who Shot JR story?
I believe so.
But it then just kind of completely ruined things for Knots Landing, which then had to backtrack also. Yeah.
That's right. So that was kind of my first memorable kind of like, shocker kind of thing. But most recently, well, it's not really recent because it was a couple of years ago, but I have to say that the plot twist in Dexter, in which Julie dies, so Julie was his wife, that was a huge shocker. Like that was, I don't know if you have ever seen Dexter.
But I've read about
Probably
it.
not, Terry. I'm guessing
I read
you
about
haven't.
everything. I know all the plot twists.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Well, I won't spoil it for listeners in case they have not watched Dexter, which is I really enjoyed that TV series. But yeah, that was a huge shocker, I have to say. And I think most
we should have a really shocking ending for this episode. But